intent is to circumvent the rule, and that wouldn't hold up. I would think if you were caught, I don't think it would be a problem. But if somebody pushed those buttons, I don't think it would hold up.
Okay. So in that case, let's just play it all the way through, guys. In that case, what if I'm walking the property at the time of contract with my buyer? Or with the person who I'm going to assign the contract to. I shouldn't say my buyer because I don't represent anybody. With the person who I'm going to assign the contract to, they're walking property with me at the same time. Now what happens? We're looking at the property together with our and then we contracted the same day.
Well, they wouldn't have come without your contract, right?
We're both buying it together.
Or you're buying it together?
We're buying it, and I assign my contract to him. Does that make sense? I go to the property. I have the guy who I'm going to sign the contract with. We're both walking the property to see if this is what we want. He says, Brian, this is the house I want to buy. Not a problem. I will go ahead and execute the contract. Or you execute the contract and pay me a fee outside. Either way. I sign the contract. That line item, as far as buyer may place signs that show the property immediately upon acceptance of this contract by both parties. It's null and void at that point, because I'm going to turn around and I'm going to immediately assign it to this guy, same day. So that's one way around that. Does that make you more comfortable that way?
No.
No?
No, I mean, it's fine for anybody else.
No, that's totally cool. Yeah.
No, I'm worried about that law.
For yourself or
For me.
But what is the law? But what is the law, though? So I would encourage you to go back and read the law and see exactly what it says, because I don't know the law. I'm not licensed. I don't know what the law says.
I would like to know as well. I mean, but I would like to see the law because that's what we're talking about. I'm trying to find it. I'm not seeing it.
Right now, it's kind of like I think this is the law. That's why I'm bringing this question up, but we don't know what the actual language of the law says.
I don't know the actual language.
Yeah.
Can you find that?
It's been discussed. I think it's been discussed. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, two solutions. One would be walk the property with whoever you're going to assign the property to. Or have the relationship like, I know those numbers are good enough. And then you get the contract, and then instead of showing the property, say, hey, you know what? Let's go do an inspection. This is one of my inspectors. They're going to come inspect the property to see if they actually want to buy it. So you're still getting the property under contract. Like I said, I rarely put signs in the yard anymore, just because I'm able to get most of my, either if I'm wholesaling, I already have my buyer.
Yeah, and I think
I already know who I'm going to assign it to. Be careful with my language here.
Yeah. Because then you depend on what part of the state you're in, I should say that way.
Yeah.
You know.
If you're in Nevada, this is a non-issue for you, man.
You know, you might invite some riffraffs into the property. You have signs.
Well, yeah, especially if the house is vacant. I don't want to put the house. I don't advertise this property as like being whatever. But let's say that okay, I'm under contract, and I'm going to sign it. They're like, well, hey, let me just go, inspect the property, make sure that there's nothing wrong with it that I can't live with at that price, and then we're good. So then I go per my contract, which allows me for contingencies to inspect the property. Let's read that actually specifically on page 13, number 8, the contingency. Gwen, would you read that for us?
This contract is contingent upon the buyer having the right to, 1, inspect all aspects of the property that would directly or indirectly affect the value. And 2, engage a professional inspector or inspectors to determine the structure and condition of the property improved. The inspection reports must be satisfactory to the buyer, or all deposit monies will be immediately refunded and all contract obligations considered null and void. The inspection shall be conducted and the contingency concluded within working days of the date or acceptance of this contract. Removal of this contingency must be in writing.
So there you go. So I'm going to bring a professional. It doesn't say licensed. It says engage a professional inspector. This guy is a professional, and he's going to inspect the property. And that's how you get around that. I hope you understand that we're not trying to circumvent the law here, but there are enough provisions that we can go ahead and still move forward with what we're doing, given the guise of this contract. That's right. So, protecting yourself. So, you never want to give out the property address until you actually have it under contract. Because guys will go around you like, well, I don't got a property under contract yet. Well, guess what? Then it's not your property. I'm going right to the seller myself. So, one way to get rid of tire kickers is to require proof of funds and to get a signed NCND. Who knows what an NCND is? That's right. So, it's a no competition. It's a non-circumvent, non-disclosure. So, if I'm quote-unquote wholesaling a property and I don't have a buyer, and I did this when I first got started in Sacramento. We had a property that was just a piece of crap, 3 condos. Man, I think the total price on all 3 condos was like $85,000. They were bad. But it's in Sacramento. Everybody and their brother wanted these properties. Everybody wanted them. We had them under contract, though. And because we were inundated with all the requests, immediately we said, okay, send over proof of funds, and then once we get your proof of funds, we'll send you an NCND to make sure that you're not going to go around us and circumvent us or disclose to somebody else that this is what we got. All of a sudden, the number of inquiries we had went down dramatically. It was done.
Why did you need the NCND if you had it under contract?
Because they can go, I don't want them to circumvent me.
Yeah. So
If they wait me out, what are they going to do? They're going to go buy the property.
Wait you out if you don't sell it.
Yeah. They're going to say, I'm not going to buy the house. I'm going to wait till it falls out of contract. Exactly, yeah. And then they go. That game happens too. So what's an NCND? Non-circumvention, non-disclosure, and working agreement. So this is included in your guys' information. So you'll have your NCND. I can tell you this, though. Large buyers will not waste their time with an NCND. Our buyer in Fresno does not even play games. Whatever, man. I don't need that property. I'm moving on to the next one. Look, why? It's a waste of time. If you're afraid that I'm going to steal your property, then you don't know me. We don't have a relationship.
So then based on how you are feeling out the buyer.
This guy does he did 109 flips last year. His goal, he's gunning for 200 flips this year. He doesn't have time to screw with people that are like, dude, if you don't know who I am by now, I don't need to do business with you.
Yeah, but it's your first buy with him.
He doesn't need you.
He doesn't need you, bro. You need him. You don't need him. I mean, he does not need you.
It's a piece of paper to sign.
You don't care your time.
Yeah.
Dick around.
Yep, exactly. That's what it is. He's not going to screw with you, man. Go find someone else.
Because you're basically pseudo-accusing him of...
You're afraid that someone's going to steal your small little piece of the pie. These guys are so big, they're like, whatever, man. He's a whale. So look to build relationships with fewer buyers. Guys like that. I mean, I called him up. So we're down in Visalia. I walked the property with you. I call him up. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm on my way to Disneyland. I got this house. No problem. Send me over the contract. We'll take care of the details. We'll take care of all the details. That simple. The relationship.
Because he also knows you're spot on and you know.
Yeah, man. I gave him a sweet deal.
Yeah, he got a good
He got a sweet deal. And
First deal was a sweet deal.
all the deals are sweet deals.
You're talking about the later deal.
Yeah. This one was what? We made $20,000. He probably would have paid us $35,000, but we had a time crunch that we needed to get stuff executed really quick. He didn't even think twice. He told me, he's like, next time around, I'll just cut you a check outside escrow. I'll just buy the house and just write you guys a check. Don't even worry about it. It's a relationship. And he's actually the one that told me specifically. He's like, if you ever pull this crap with me and NCND on a property, I never will do a deal with you. I don't have time. I don't have time for you.
I know what my boundaries are.
Yeah. Well, that was after the fact. After we already had the relationship, and he goes, I get requests all the time. I don't do proof of funds and I don't do NCND.
And that guy doesn't want to wait 30, 60 days to go around, Brian.
He doesn't care about that property, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 5 more probably.
He runs at any given time between 9 and 10 crews on properties. He's busy. Doesn't have time to like, oh, you want your $20,000 assignment fee? excuse me, I'm making $3.5 million. His marketing budget, like he dropped. So we have a great relationship. He drops mails for me in Sacramento because I answer all his phone calls. He dropped like $35,000 in mail drops. Doesn't even bat an eye. I'm like, $35,000? He's like, Ryan, that's what we pay like in a week on our marketing.
To your phone?
Yeah, direct to my phone.
What do you get off
I close deals for him, and I make money. He makes his marketing costs back, and then we split the difference.
I mean, I was just curious how many calls you got back.
It sucked in
How much you
Sacramento.
made.
It sucked so bad. He's bombed every single time in Sacramento. He cannot figure out how his marketing pieces in Fresno will pull like 100 times better, where he had to hire a whole entire phone room. He has a phone room now for just his Fresno
Wow.
mail drops. Sacramento, it's like he can't figure it out. It's like exact same list, exact same criteria. There's just so much competition in Sacramento for mailers. If you're door knocking, man, if you're using Property Radar and you're going sniping instead of doing this shotgun approach, you're finding deals and you're sneaking in around there.
So there's not that much competition for that.
No, not at all. How easy it is for a big, huge whale to just write a check and throw postcards in the mail. Guys like that don't have time to go and knock on doors.
Or the knowledge.
Well, he started door knocking.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, those guys might, but other guys who might be competition in other ways.
You're gonna find properties when you go the extra mile. Shop for your buyers instead of trying to market to the masses. Hey, we buy houses, guys. Some of them are not actual wholesalers. Some of them are actually really buyers. Call them up, see what they have.
And you also said too on one of your Facebook posts, go to the auctions, and those are your buyers too.
Exactly right. I had a lady I was coaching in Arkansas, and she's like, "Oh, Ryan, I wish I could be in Arkansas. I wish I could. These properties, they're going to auction. They're going like to auction for like $60,000 and $40,000 and all that stuff." She's like, "I went to the auction. I went 3 weeks in a row when I was there, and I couldn't believe it. All these guys are out there, and they're all bidding and all this stuff." I'm like, "That's a gold mine. You know how to find pre-foreclosures before they go to auction. These guys don't, or they don't have the time. They're just there, just haggling over price between each other. What if you went to one or two of them and you said, hey, if I can bring you one of these properties before it goes to auction, before you get the bid up with Uncle Charlie over here, would you be willing to buy it cash from me?"
That's genius.
Of course. Why wouldn't they? So she found a buyer. Easy, man. It's so easy.
You could market your contracts there.
You could. Or you can develop a relationship and just say, hey, yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about what you're saying. You don't have.
On the courthouse steps is usually when it is. Yeah, just get the relationship. Okay, so go have lunch with the dude.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is I wouldn't do that unless I had a property in hand.
Yeah,
Go for a walk.
A contract.
that's right, yeah.
Walk and talk.
So,
I
oh,
think at a library, if you're tutoring in the library, you get paid to tutor. That's how I learned.
no, that's interesting, man. So, all right, assignment form. You guys have this assignment form in your manuals here. So the assignment is, what page are we seeing this on, guys? 28. Okay, I should leave my book open, huh? So I had to come up with this on my own. I didn't have an assignment form that I was comfortable with, that I liked, and so I created this one. And basically, it says that the assignment contract the assignment is made on the date between Ryan Nickel, I'm the assignor, so you're going to be the assignors, and then the assignee is whoever you're assigning it to, whether that's an individual person or an LLC. The assignor is party to the real estate contract purchase of real estate dated, so you're going to put the date in there, and then the seller's name, regarding property located at, you're going to put in the property address, the city, the state, and then the copy of the contract is going to be included as well. Assignor now desires to assign its interest in the contract to assignee, which assignee desires to acquire. Now, therefore, the sum of, so either you're going to get paid at time of assignment, you can put that number in right there.
So that's your fee.
That's your fee. So I've done it where I've received half up front, half at closing.